Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today because of three issues sweeping our rural communities. It's not only the rural communities that are suffering from the same problem, but it's very prevalent in rural society these days. And I'm talking about violence against women, drug abuse and suicide. These three indictments have no barriers. They can affect anyone, and they do. From Jillaroos to health workers to health professionals to landowners, and we as the government can only do so much. You can support the cause with dollars, but that is not the be-all and end-all, and to get a final or full solution, it's very difficult, and I think it needs a whole community to get behind these three issues and fight it from the trenches. Domestic violence is a serious problem engulfing our communities that requires a commitment from all of us to defeat. I attended on Sunday in Gladstone a rally, a lot of women there, but and sadly not enough men. I think we've got to get back to those campaigns like if you drink and drive you're a bloody idiot, or if you king hit someone it's a killer punch or a coward punch. I think we've got to get some campaign like that going for violence against women because it's very prevalent. 62 women have been killed in Australia this year alone. That doesn't take much to work out, that's over one a week because of domestic violence. Australian Bureau of Statistics data showed 132,000 recorded cases of domestic violence in 2011-2012. In Queensland, 23 women have died because of domestic violence. 44% of Queensland homicide in that period were domestic violence against women. The Department of Human Services received 200 calls daily, and that is staggering figures. 200, and we've got 400 agencies across Australia to handle those 200,000 calls, and that puts those workers in very vulnerable positions when you're trying to handle cases that can have minimum or major conflicts at the end of the day. Domestic violence is not just a social problem, but an economic problem as well. It costs taxpayers about $19.9 billion a year, equivalent to about $8,800 for every man, woman and child in Australia. Business losses are also great. $1.6 billion is estimated in lost productivity due to domestic violence. I'm pleased that our government has announced a $100 million domestic violence package, but as I said before, you can't always solve these problems with money. But it's a great starting point. We'll go a long way to reducing the problem, but will not fix the problem. The second great problem we have to deal with is the issue of drug abuse. This is widespread. When I was a young lad, it wasn't a problem in the country areas or the regional areas, but it certainly is now. And we must do all we can, and I think again it's another community thing where we dob in a druggo, or take whatever measures you think will help fix the problem. There's no quick fix, but it's all that something we all got to be aware of and do our best to stamp this trade out. There are people selling it and making money, and they are the people we've got to clamp down on. Whether they be people smugglers or drug smugglers, these are the problems and these are the ones we've got to get out of our society and get rid of them. There's been drug bust in Emerald, and major drug bust in Blackwater and Townsend Mile Electorate, and the amount of amphetamines that were actually seized in these roads were staggering. Our police force can only do too much. They have zero tolerance again. Mining companies have zero tolerance, but still the problem exists. And finally, depression is the thing that is sweeping through the country areas, and I think drought has a lot to do with that. And this problem will not go away. Youth suicide is high, farmer suicide is high. It's a curse on our nation. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.